Here we are back for another episode. Miss Marvel episode 4. Did the story get any better? Did we get any more details? Well, trust me, we're going to talk about it. Okay, here we are. Miss Marvel episode 4. We had some little bit of rough patches going through episodes 1 through 3. Story was going in one direction. We've had some great reviews from Rotten Tomatoes, apparently certified fresh, and it's been good so with that. While some other people were having issues with the story being what it is, I'm middle of the road type of guy. I just wanted some answers on some very particular things, and we're going to talk about and see if this episode came up with any of that stuff. Brent, I'm gonna let you start this off. What are your thoughts on this episode?
First of all, I will not take back any criticism about the first 3 episodes. However, I am still going to criticize Disney's format. This whole 6 episode thing, I don't think it's working. But I will say, as far as your question, this episode was so much better. There were so many more answers delivered. There were still a lot of questions that need to be addressed, things that need to be worked on. I don't think this is going to be one of the greater shows that I've ever watched. I'm just going to completely go out on that limb right now. There's a lot of huge flaws like the DODC, Red Dagger. Your security is shit. I mean, 2 guards, 4 super secret agents seems like a terrible idea. And then you have 2 guards, technically, 4 secret agents. You seeing a common theme here? Kind of terrible security overall, but we got a lot of answers about not only the bracelet itself, but we also got a lot of answers about why it's working the way it is with Kamala. I'm very happy about that. The story is starting to get a little bit more congruent. I'm a much more happy person with this episode than I've been with the last 3. There were minimal answers. It was just a huge immersion into a culture that we knew nothing about. It's fantastic to learn about it. But God, the steps, the tediousness of it, the terrible writing, just easy plot holes, and how campy everything was. It was rubbing me all kinds of wrong way. This episode was a little campy, but we're starting to see some payoff for episode 1 through 3. I'm happy with what I got. You being the Marvel head, tell me what they got wrong. Tell me what they got right. Let me know if I should feel the way I feel about the show.
Well, throughout the story, we've been exploring Kamala's journey as a young woman coming up in this culture and stuff. With her background, you got the Muslim background, the Pakistani, a lot of different things that are involved in this, and she's learning more about herself and where she fits in based off of her connection to American culture with superheroes and stuff of that nature, and then her connection to her family's culture and what she was grew up and raised in and what's expected of her traditionally. Now, they're giving us a lot of backstory on this. And don't get me wrong, I love backstory. I love when you kind of flesh everything out. I just want it to be more evenly paced. It was very heavy on the front end, and it wasn't kind of mixed in what's going on. I'm getting bits and pieces of stuff and not knowing how you plan on changing this around. Because you gotta remember, Kamala's traditional powers were of the Terrigen Mist, of her being a polymorph, of her being able to change her size and stuff at will using the Embiggen powers and having a healing factor. These different things are being changed for the show to where she has these more crystal diamond like powers, like Emma Frost type stuff going on. She can create these constructs, you know. And at first, it was like, okay, well, it looked like it was based off the bangle. Then we got a little piece of information saying that no, it's the powers coming from in you. How Bruno was able to come up with that, I don't know. It seemed like a throwaway line. It probably shouldn't even been there, but she's got the power coming through her. So the bangle has nothing to do with it. So what's the significance of the bangle? Is it like a channeling force? What's going on? We do know that it has similar structure and look to that of the 10 rings that we saw in Shang-Chi. Yeah, I know I'm fucking up the name. I've never been good with the names. Look. So Shang-Chi. So it's got the same structure. We saw the 10 Rings logo in the flashback episode with the whole thing with the whole structure collapsing. So we know that there's connection. There could be some kind of otherworldly or cosmic connection with this particular power, going forward. But now we get more details on the other dimensions. So now we're kind of bringing in what we've been learning from Loki and Multiverse of Madness and WandaVision. Like everything is starting to start pulled together. Whereas like, okay, now we know that there's dimensional rifts. People are from other dimensions, so that freaking Kamala may not be of this dimension to a degree because of her heritage. So now, like, she's part something else. Like she's part Jinn, is what it's been referred to so far. But I'm sure that they may bring it up as something else. It could be the Inhumans could still play a factor in this, as being part of this, that she finds her people, or they could keep it completely separate, and just leave that to the wayside, with Inhumans being a failed project and more or less just fan service, with the things that they've used it for going forward. I'm very happy with this episode as far as getting some more of the story fleshed out. I think that the Red Daggers have been pivotal in just like, this is what's going on. This is what's it. Like, this is what I needed. Like, you honestly could have gave me that last episode and kind of explain when she met, the woman who's chasing her. I can't even say her name, right? Because I'm trying to get these names down, and I really don't want to mess them up with that. But the antagonist, the woman antagonist who's chasing her around,
who killed her guy who was actually giving us all the answers.
yeah,
So
she
like
killed.
great.
Again, I'm messing up names, and we just watched it, so it's gonna take a minute to commit all these to memory. But with that being said, like, she could have gave a little bit more of that information. Like, we're trying to get home, and we're from another dimension. We're just trying to get home. We could use the power to help us get home, or whatever the case may be. And she, granted, they may have ulterior motives. Not like, we want to take over. We want to destroy this world in the process so we can make our world flourish, or whatever the case may be. Cool, you had your ulterior motives, but you could have gave us the base part. You seemed like they were dragging their feet around that. So that's one of the reasons why I was kind of getting frustrated with, like, okay, come on, because we've only got 6 episodes. With us only having 6 episodes, so that I need you to flush out a little bit more in terms of what's going on with the story, so that way we can get more to the characters doing what the characters are supposed to do, as far as being their Marvel superheroes, or getting into their fights, and getting their stories fully rounded out, to where it's like, okay, we close this, and we're pinching off all these branches, because okay, there's the resolution to this is the resolution to that. And
they're going at snail's pace on a 6-episode format. They need to hit the ground running, and they are literally tiptoeing around everything. And if you expect to get a season 2 out of this, you need to get out of the box strong.
I'm not expecting
and this right now, it was a soft bunt at best. We haven't enjoyed an episode till now. We're 4 episodes in. You've given me literally almost 2.5 hours of content, and we got what, maybe an hour's worth of enjoyable material.
I won't say I didn't enjoy any of the episodes. Like I said, I had my qualms with the episodes, and I was kind of dragging. Don't get me wrong. I love the information that was given. I told you, I enjoyed them exploring the culture. I enjoyed them, getting the characters and stuff, around her, and how, they're taking part in the culture. Bruno, hats off to him for sure, for, being, who he is, and embracing, her, his friend's culture, and being a part of it. Like, that's fantastic. But when we got to the training montage part, and it's like we're trying to figure stuff out. Okay, I thought we was going to kind of get a little bit more about what's going on. Like, she's doing a training montage. She's starting to kind of get going. Like, okay, now we're kind of getting somewhere. We're gonna see her do a couple fledgling rescues. She attempted one, which I won't say bot. She did get him saved, but
did the best she could with the knowledge.
Yeah, like that. But it's kind of like, let's kind of step it up from here. He randomly got her a mask, because he wants to be superhero. So it wasn't too random, but it's just like like, hey, are we gonna start putting the whole suit together, or you just gave her a mask to feel better, to try and hide her face? It's like there's a little bit of story there. It's kind of it's understandable, but I want to know more about what is going on with her and her powers and how she plans on utilizing them going forward. Because we're getting that same kind of trope with America Chavez, where when the time is right, I'm just going to come into my powers and know everything that I need to do with my powers. And it's like, no, I want you to fuck up a little bit more. Like, I want you to make mistakes. So I enjoy that part of it because you're trying to
because that's what they did right with Spider-Man.
It's
Spider-Man failed a lot. He failed forward. He made a lot of mistakes. He wasn't doing all the right things, saying all the right stuff, but his heart was always in the right place. And I was like, we had time to learn, grow, and adapt with the character, and they did it the right manner. And with this 6-episode format, we don't have enough time to get to know this character, even though you give me 2 hours worth of content. I still haven't officially been like, yep, this is a character that I resonate with, I'm for, I care about. Like right now, it's just, this is a lot better. This could be the turning curve to that upward spiral. This episode was a great start for that, so don't come at me, internet people. But it was such a bad format on Disney's part with the 6 episodes. Everything feels rushed. Nothing feels like it did when we had Falcon Winter Soldier, 7 episodes or 8 episodes, whatever that was. We had Loki that was about 7 or 8 episodes. WandaVision was 10. It's like we're just going down and rushing a lot of product, and a lot of your stuff of late isn't what it used to be and not up to the same standard that we usually hold you to.
This is what I'm gonna give myself that. Like we have to understand and stuff. And again, we've been built up over these superheroes over over a period of over 10 years and stuff like that for just the MCU alone. I've been doing this for 20 years and stuff, as far as understanding all the different superheroes and building them up. I'm not gonna lie, I do feel like I am spoiled a little bit off of the superheroes kind of coming in, so that we don't have to have as many real big origin stories, because characters have been there throughout the process with the MCU, and now we're able to piggyback off of those characters. Again, WandaVision, Loki, and Falcon Winter Soldier, they've all been built up. We got Yelena coming in, so with that, but she had a movie, so she had a bigger role in the movie, and it was able to be flushed out because she was able to piggyback off of another character, Black Widow, to really make her story flushed out. Miss Marvel doesn't have that, so that's one of the reasons why it's more difficult for them to.
So it's dealing with the same struggle that Moon Knight kind of dealt with
into the zone, like get her into the fold as easy as it was to get the other superheroes. So, and I admit, like again, I'm spoiled on it, so it's like I know what I want. So with that, I know what I expect and stuff, but they're piecing it together best they can for a new superhero with no attachments to really build up and become her own. No one else really has that in terms of starting from the ground up right now. Like
Moon Knight
came in,
literally just had that.
Well, Moon Knight had his powers, like he was already doing stuff. He didn't even know he was doing stuff. We're getting that through flashbacks and kind of understanding stuff. So Moon Knight was already established to a degree in his universe. Like we're getting her, not established. Like she's literally becoming this. Like we're watching her become this. So this one's gonna have to marinate a little bit longer. You know how I am about marinating my chickens with that freaking. You got to marinate this stuff so we understand the story to its full capacity. And now again, like I said, it was dragging for me. It was. I'm not going to sit there and say it wasn't. It was dragging for me. But that I wasn't as interested and invested in this one because I had already had all my interest and investment in the Marvel properties and everything going forward. So they were just kind of carrying it over. So this is something new. And I'm still very interested in Kamala Khan. My daughter loves her, so that, and I can't wait to sit down and watch this whole series again with her and kind of pick out whatever, I may have missed and watch it with her, or how she thinks about it, because I know that I'm not the demographic that this was built for.
This was definitely built for kids to grow up with. And then I think as us as adults is kind of, we're not the intended audience, so therefore we're not appreciating this probably the way we should. And this could be like an origin story that we missed because we're just kind of blessed with what we got started with. The phenomenal actors that were there.
This is what I want to get into and stuff like that. And I want I want the people who appreciate it to appreciate it for what it was. And that's why I don't want to be a downer on people who are getting into this enjoy it. Like I want you to enjoy it. Everybody's going to enjoy things differently. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with Brent, like I said. But again, we're looking at this from our perspective. So, and that's one of the reasons why I try to look at this show. Like, what perspective are you guys looking at it from? So that's why I want to know your comments. I want to know what it is that you got to say about it. By all means, tell me in the comments. Tell me what problems you have with it. If you don't like one of the videos, tell me why, so we can talk about it. And I can figure out more from your point of view, because I only have my point of view until somebody else talks to me about it and tells me what's going on. And that's why when I sit down with my daughter and sit down with my wife and sit there and watch all this stuff, they're going to flesh out what they thought about it and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't think about that. Or that didn't come to mind, because again, I'm singular focus in terms of how I know Marvel properties to work and what I know from the comics. And I just want to see, because I like change. I like when you're changing up to make something different. So give me that. I just want you to give it to me in a way that is, it makes sense to the story. So again, her powers were the biggest problem I had, because they weren't making sense how you brought them in. Now they're making sense a little bit more. We got a little glimpse of it in 3, but now they're making sense a little bit more. The fact that we got some explanation from the Red Daggers, who, by the way, the Red Daggers, you see there's only about one left. He's actually the Red Dagger in Marvel. So he's a expert marksman that runs around, throwing daggers at people's face. So he's there. He's actually part of the reserve corps of the champions, a big team that Miss Marvel was a part of with, like Miles Morales and a few other heroes. So I expect him to kind of stick around for a while, or show up in other properties and stuff related to Miss Marvel if she has her own solo movie at some point, or whatever. He may play a bigger picture in the process. But other than that, I mean, I think this episode was good. We got a lot more information, and I'm very happy that they're trending in the right direction now, which they've been trending in the right direction. So that it's just they were taking longer to get there than I think they should have. But again, that's just my opinion. But
This feels a lot like a Thanksgiving dinner where you're just waiting for that turkey to finish cooking.
Yeah,
It's going to be a slow cook, but
the
hopefully
show,
at the end, it's exactly what you want. All the mashed potatoes you can handle, all the rolls you can take, all the gravy, all the delicious, well-cooked turkey. Hopefully this is exactly that. Tell us what we got wrong in the comments below. By all means, come at us if one of our opinions is that terrible. But the shows should be going in the right direction. I'm actually looking forward to next week so he can get a few more answers, because they left us on a hell of a cliffhanger. I'll give them that.
Yeah, they did. So we got a good cliffhanger. 2 more episodes to go, and I'm expecting Captain Marvel to show up somewhere in 6. So some major superheroes got to show up somewhere in 6. Like she's got to meet somebody, and
I laugh at America Chavez. Just I don't know.
I'm banking on America Chavez, Captain Marvel, or Spider-Man. Like one of the 3.
If they give him Miles, the internet goes nuts.
They're not gonna do Miles like that. Yeah, the Miles is gonna come in with all the grandeur and stuff that freaking is necessary, because Miles is that dude right now. He's definitely one of the ones that's most hyped for people to bring in. But we gotta wait for Sony to pull the trigger on that one. So
that being said, thanks guys for checking out the show. Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Leave us a like if you liked it. Thumbs down if you hated it. Check out all the other content we got going on. We got a lot of stuff for Andor coming up, She-Hulk, you name it. Thor: Love and Thunder right around the corner. Look forward to seeing you guys in the next videos.